Hey everyone, and welcome aboard to Above and Beyond with Sophia, your first class ticket to all things travel from an insider's perspective. I'm Sophia, your host, and after 15 years soaring the skies as a flight attendant, I've seen it all, heard it all, and probably poured coffee for a few of you out there. Today, we're diving into a topic that's been buzzing around the cabin and beyond. TSA is checking your phone. Delete these 5 things before flying. Sounds a bit intense, right? Like something out of a spy movie? Or maybe a scene from a sitcom where someone accidentally shows the TSA agent their embarrassing vacation photos. We've all been there, scrolling through our phones at the gate, maybe catching up on emails, or even, dare I say it, playing a little Candy Crush. But have you ever stopped to wonder if those friendly, mostly folks in blue uniforms might be taking a peek at what's on your screen? Or more importantly, what could be on your screen that might raise an eyebrow, or even worse, cause a significant delay to your travel plans? It's a question that brings up so many other questions, doesn't it? Is this even legal? What are they even looking for? And how on earth would they even get into my phone? Are we talking about a quick glance or a full-on digital forensic investigation? You might be thinking, Sophia, I've got nothing to hide. My phone is squeaky clean. And for many of you, that's absolutely true. But sometimes it's not about hiding something nefarious. It's about avoiding misunderstandings, unnecessary scrutiny, and frankly, a whole lot of hassle that can turn your pre-flight chill into a pre-flight panic. We're going to explore some unexpected angles on this, and by the end of this video, you'll not only understand why this is a topic worth discussing, but also what you can do to ensure your next trip through security is as smooth as freshly churned butter. So buckle up, because today we're going to demystify this whole TSA and your phone business. I'll be sharing 5 specific things you should consider deleting or at least securing before you even think about stepping foot in the airport. Trust me, these aren't just obscure tips. These are practical, real-world pieces of advice that can save you time, stress, and potential headaches. And speaking of practical advice, if you're new here and love getting the inside scoop on travel, hit that subscribe button. Join our growing community of savvy travelers. We're building something special here, and your subscriptions, comments, and engagement truly help us decide what juicy topics to cover next. So don't be shy. Let me know in the comments what travel mysteries you want me to unravel. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Now, before anyone starts panicking, let me clarify something right off the bat. The TSA generally isn't randomly rifling through your personal photos of your cat or your grocery lists. However, there are specific circumstances and types of digital content that can, and sometimes do, attract attention. It's not about surveillance for surveillance's sake. It's usually about security concerns, compliance with certain regulations, and sometimes just plain old common sense. My first experience with a phone situation wasn't even with a passenger. It was actually with a new junior flight attendant on a layover. She was showing me her new phone. She'd just upgraded. And she had this absolutely hilarious meme of a cartoon bomb with a really silly fuse. It was completely innocent, a shared joke in her group chat. But I remember thinking, wow, if someone saw that in an airport setting, out of context, it could really cause a misunderstanding. And that leads us to our first item, 1 to delete or secure. Images or videos that could be misconstrued as threats or illegal activities. This might sound obvious, but you'd be surprised. We live in a world of memes, dark humor, and ironically offensive jokes. What's funny in a private chat with your buddies might look incredibly suspicious to a security official whose job it is to take everything seriously. This includes anything depicting weapons, even realistic toy ones, bomb jokes, drug paraphernalia, or anything that could even remotely suggest a threat to aviation security. I once saw a passenger pulled aside because he was showing his friend a video he'd taken at a shooting range, a perfectly legal and legitimate hobby. But in the heightened environment of an airport security line, the sight of a firearm, even on a screen, can trigger a response. The agents just want to ensure everyone's safety, and sometimes that means erring on the side of caution. So before you fly, give your camera roll a quick scroll. If there's anything in there that could make a security agent do a double take, either delete it or move it to a secure, password-protected folder that you won't be accessing in the airport. Better safe than explaining your ironic sense of humor to a stern-faced official, right? Moving on to our second category, and this one hits close to home for anyone who loves a good deal, or maybe a slightly too good deal. Number 2, to delete or secure, illegally downloaded or pirated content. Now, I'm not here to lecture anyone about copyright law. I'm a flight attendant, not a legal eagle. But here's the thing, Customs and Border Protection, CBP agents, particularly if you're traveling internationally, do have the authority to inspect your electronic devices for contraband, and that includes pirated media. While the TSA's primary focus is security, if CBP gets involved, your illegally downloaded movies, music, or software could land you in hot water. I once had a passenger who was absolutely fuming because his laptop was confiscated at customs. He swore up and down he'd done nothing wrong. Later, through a colleague, I found out he had a massive library of pirated movies on an external hard drive he was carrying. He thought it was harmless, just for his personal entertainment on a long trip. But for customs, it was a violation, and it led to a significant delay, fines, and the loss of his device. This isn't just about avoiding a fine, it's about avoiding the headache. Imagine being stuck in an airport, missing your connecting flight, all because of a few movies you didn't pay for. Is it really worth it? So, do yourself a favor. Clean up your digital act. Stick to legitimate streaming services or downloaded content you actually own. It's just not worth the risk, especially when crossing international borders. All right, let's lighten the mood a little, but this next one is still super important for your privacy and peace of mind. And if you're enjoying these tips so far, smash that like button. It tells YouTube to share this valuable info with more travelers, and it tells me you're digging the content. Third thing to delete or secure: sensitive personal information that could be exploited. We all have it. Banking apps, health records, login details saved in notes, tax documents, even just revealing conversations with friends or family. While the TSA isn't typically looking for your bank statements, imagine a scenario where your phone is misplaced, stolen, or even just subjected to a random, more thorough search. Having sensitive, unencrypted personal data readily accessible on your device is an open invitation for trouble. I remember this one time, a passenger left their phone in the seat back pocket. It was a stressful flight, lots of turbulence, and in the rush, they just forgot it. We found it after everyone deplaned. Now, as flight attendants, we follow strict protocols for lost and found, but it got me thinking. What if that phone had fallen into the wrong hands? What if it wasn't returned? It had sensitive emails, photos of ID documents, and even a note with Wi-Fi passwords for various locations. It was a digital treasure trove for identity theft. Before you fly, consider doing a digital declutter. Encrypt sensitive files, use strong passwords for all your apps, and enable two-factor authentication wherever possible. For highly sensitive documents, consider storing them in a secure cloud service that requires additional verification, rather than having them directly on your device. Better yet, if you don't absolutely need certain sensitive documents on your phone for your trip, delete them entirely until you return. It's not about fearing the TSA, it's about protecting yourself from general digital vulnerabilities. Think of it as putting your valuables in a safe deposit box instead of leaving them out on a coffee table. Now for our fourth point, which often gets overlooked in the rush of travel preparations. 4 to delete or secure location-tagged photos and videos that reveal sensitive information. We all love sharing our adventures, right? Look at me on the beach in Maui, or just landed in Paris. But did you know that many of your photos and videos automatically embed location data? This is called geotagging. While seemingly innocuous, if combined with other information, it can inadvertently reveal a lot about your travel patterns, your home address, or even where you'll be at a certain time. For example, imagine you've just taken a selfie in front of your house, showing your street number, and then you're posting about being away on a long trip. If that photo is on your phone and accessible, and your phone were to get into the wrong hands, that's a direct map to your empty home. Again, this isn't necessarily about the TSA. This is about general security and privacy. I once had a passenger, a lovely elderly lady, who was showing me photos of her beautiful garden. She was so proud. But as she scrolled, I noticed a photo of her mailbox with her full address clearly visible, and then another photo taken inside her home, clearly showing she was away. It was an innocent oversight, but it highlighted how easily we can overshare. Before you fly, especially if you're traveling alone or for an extended period, consider disabling geotagging in your camera settings. Or, if you prefer to keep it on, make sure you're mindful of what you're photographing. If you have photos on your phone that clearly show your home address, your workplace, or other highly specific locations that you don't want widely known, either delete them or move them to a secure private album. It's about being smart, not paranoid. And remember, if you're finding this advice helpful, give us a thumbs up and share this video with your fellow travelers. The more people who know, the safer and smoother everyone's journeys will be. And finally, we arrive at our fifth and perhaps most subtle, yet equally important consideration. This one is less about deletion and more about awareness. 5 to be aware of and potentially manage. Excessive personal communications with suspicious keywords. Okay, this might sound a bit Big Brother, but hear me out. In specific, intelligence-driven scenarios, security agencies do have the capability to sift through communications. While the TSA isn't generally doing this for every passenger, if you've already been flagged for some reason, or if you happen to be a random selection for a more in-depth secondary screening, the content of your messages could be reviewed. What kind of keywords are we talking about? Think about anything that could be misinterpreted in a security context. Words like bomb, weapon, drugs, threat, smuggle, or even ironically used phrases in a group chat that could suggest illicit activities. It's not about censoring your conversations, it's about being mindful. I've witnessed passengers get into sticky situations because of casual jokes made in texts or social media posts that, when viewed out of context by a security agent, sounded genuinely concerning. One young man was having a laugh with his friends about smuggling an extra-large chocolate bar past customs, a completely innocent joke, but the word smuggling got flagged. It led to a very uncomfortable and lengthy questioning session, delaying him significantly. The best advice here isn't necessarily to delete every single message you've ever sent. That's probably unrealistic. Instead, it's about having awareness. If you know you have conversations on your phone that might contain these kinds of keywords, especially if they're purely for humor or out of context, be prepared to explain them. Better yet, if you're about to fly, maybe archive those specific chats or ensure they're not easily accessible during a casual scroll. It's about reducing any potential for misinterpretation or unnecessary scrutiny. You want your journey to be as smooth as possible, and sometimes that means anticipating what might cause a bump in the road, even if it's just a misunderstanding. So there you have it, 5 things to consider before you next take to the skies. It's not about living in fear or even about always deleting everything. It's about being a savvy, informed traveler. It's about understanding the environment you're moving through and taking proactive steps to ensure your journey is stress-free, private, and secure. Remember, the goal here isn't to create paranoia, it's to empower you with knowledge. My 15 years in the air have taught me that preparedness is key to a smooth journey. A little foresight can save you a lot of headaches. Before we land this episode, I want to reiterate, your engagement truly fuels this channel. If you have any stories about airport security, phone checks, or just general travel tips you swear by, drop them in the comments below. I love hearing from you, and who knows, your experience might just be the inspiration for our next video. Don't forget to subscribe to Above and Beyond with Sophia for more insider tips and tricks to make your travel experiences truly first class. Hit that notification bell too so you don't miss any of our future adventures. Thanks for joining me today. I hope this has given you some valuable insights and peace of mind for your next flight. Safe travels, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.